many visitors coming to the Palace Museum. We are also having a cultural event here, which is the second cross-strait college students creative competition. Altogether, we have 54 students coming from 8 universities from 2 sides of the strait, and they come here to exchange their creative and cultural work. In the past few days, they have enhanced the mutual understanding and also helped to create more works. So for this exhibition, or the creative competition, is taking place right here. Here you can see we did not have much number of the visitors in the Palace Museum, but still we have more visitors here right now compared to the morning. So after 9 a.m. in the morning, we keep having more and more visitors in the Palace Museum. In afternoon, this number will continue to increase. Now you can see the slogan here. We are having the second cross-strait college students creative competition, and we also have an exhibition hall here. So this is the creative competition in Changchun for the cross-strait college students. And here we could see some of the creative works displayed here. Let's take a look. What are these works? So for this creative competition, we have 54 works displayed here, including products in relates to the culture and creative work, digital media animation, graphic design, fiber art, metal crafts, etc. Let's take a look at this one. So the creator is Chen Wenyu from Taiwan. So actually, she's standing right beside his arts. So hello, Ms. Chen. Can you give us some introduction about your creative work? So what inspired you to create this kind of work? So actually, in my daily life, I went to a lot of places, and even though I haven't been to those places, but I would like to create this kind of game so people may get better understanding for those unfamiliar places. For example, they want to understand the history about the food in those regions. So I would like to put all of this information all together. So it's just like a storybook. So if you open up the game, you could understand what's happening. So all of this information will be kept in the box. So as you could see, you can get some information about the history, the culture, and also some of the localities of the region. So for this kind of work, we could get familiar with an unfamiliar place. So actually, you are just playing a game, and at the same time, you will get to know about the place. So how long it takes you to make this kind of game? It takes me for around like 2 months to create this kind of game. I have to collect all the elements and put it into this kind of work. So what do you think what makes for a good cultured product? So I think storyline is very important, and you have to attach your own emotion into your work. So first of all, the person who created this kind of game, he or she have to attach emotion inside it, and also we have to input some of the cultural elements inside of this kind of work. So for this kind of game, it's suitable for all age groups. So for the children and the adults, they can play the game all together. So this will be a popular artistic work. So how many times have you come to mainland? And actually, this is my third time to visit mainland. And in the previous 2 times, I visited Nanjing and Suzhou. Actually, before I came here, I did some homework about food. For myself, I'm a big foodie, and actually, we go to different places in Changchun and taste different kind of food, and all of those are very delicious. And also, I visited the Jilin University of Arts to get to know about the environment in the University of Arts, and I was quite impressed. So, dear friends, now we are at the Palace Museum of the Manchukuo, and here we could see many works are displayed here. And later on, we also have an award ceremony for this creative competition. So, do you have confidence? For example, whether you could win the game. So even though I don't think I'm as good as those who graduate from the University of Arts, I'm not that professional. But still, I think I'm quite competitive. I'm quite confident about my artistic work. I still get a chance. Thank you. So we will go through all of the creative works, and later on we will have a award ceremony. So maybe you could take a guess which one will be the winner. Let's take a look at the other one. This is like a tableware, and this product is actually presented by the Jilin University of Arts. And this one looks quite conventional, just a fan. This one is quite unique, I think. A cotton series. This is also presented by the Jilin University of Arts. And the artist, Miss Meng Qi, is just standing by this work. So for me, I actually grew up in the northern side of China, and I have special emotions, attach great emotions to cotton. So I think cotton for me is very important. So now we have a student representative from mainland China, and she's actually coming from the Jilin University of Arts. So for this event, we are actually having a representative from Jilin University of Arts and also some university students from Taiwan. So let's go back to this work. So as you can see, the cover is made from clay and gold foil, and also inside of it is just the regular cotton. So where did you get this kind of inspiration? Well, I have, a special kind of emotion attached to cotton. And for cotton, it's quite common actually, but as we grow up and also with the development of the city, as you could see, all of these common things also experience some changes. Even though the world has changed a lot, what I want to express is that we still have those kind of sweet memories of those good old stuff. For example, the cotton. Have you ever been to Taiwan? Yes, I did. When I was in my last year of the university, I went to Taiwan. So what's your impression about the creativity from Taiwan students versus the mainland students? So for all of us, we just want to express the unique culture inside of our work. But the way of our mindset, the way of our thinking and our mindset, maybe it's a little bit different. For example, in Taipei, they also have a lot of done a lot of research about the culture connotation, And for the mainland students, we actually focus on the handicraft. That's the major difference. Thank you. So for this one, I think the artist is called Chen Yixing, also coming from the Jilin University of Arts. And for me, I think this set is just a stationery set. Mr. Chen is standing right beside the work. Can you give us some introduction about work? This is a wooden set of stationery. For me, I'm quite passionate about this stationery. So I would like to integrate some of the creative elements into the office supplies. So all of the design is quite simple. And this is the way how I make all of this wooden stationery. So this one is a USB charger. And it is my first time to see a wooden USB charger like this. So as you could see, for some of this work, we also have a side design. So we just want to make the presentation more diversified. And actually, you can put all of this all together. So now you're sitting like separate units of this stationery, but actually you could assemble all of this all together. And it looks very good if I take this specialized design. It is easier to connect all of these different sets. Through the past few days, I actually had a lot of conversation with other students. I could see all of these works are very creative and very unique. So which kind of creative or cultural work that you think may be popular? In my opinion, I think all of this work should be inspiring and full of cultural heritage. So this may be the unique feature for this kind of creative work. But still, I think all of this work should be practical. All right, thank you. Let's see, we have more creative works. This is not a lighting equipment. Let's take a look on what it is. The name of this creative work is called Answer, and Zhang Huihui is also a student from Jilin University of Arts. Hello, Ms. Zhang. Can you give us some introduction about your work? Why do you call this work Answer? I would like to tell a story about this work. Actually, I have done a lot of work in visualization of sound, so I would like to make sound visible to all of you. I actually choose different kind of crystal, and also you could see the sound can change the form of the sound, and also it will reflect a different visual effect. So you could see the way how the sound is demonstrated. In the past, I've also done a installation, so you can actually hear the sound, and also you can look at the change and formation of the crystal. So for example, I can use some of the sugar and some of the salt to use as an intermediate to transform this kind of sound. But why do you call it answer for your artistic work? I have made this work for around 3 to 4 months. For example, at the beginning, all of these are in chemical powders, and I gather all of these powders all together, and also when you put on a different sound behind the chemical powders, it will show a different shape. I think this is actually more like our lives. For us, each individual are living in the world, but each day we are hearing different feedback, some positive or negative feedback, and each person may have a different feelings towards all of those kind of feedback. I have demonstrating 10 works. You could see these 10 artistic work, they actually are presented under the context of a gentle and a very cozy context. So what I want to express is about like comfortable and gratitude. I think if we all hold up the positive energy, we could show more love to the world. And also play a video here. So this is the way how I form this kind of chemical object. Actually, this is the video I made on my own. So people could understand how all of these objects are formed. I'm using my own camera to capture the moments to form this kind of chemical powder. And it takes me for around like 3 months to create this video. So let's take a closer look on the formation of the crystal. As I'm using different kind of intermediate, so you could see all of these crystals are formed in different speed, and I'm using the time-lapse shooting to capture all of the formation. Let's take a look at the other artistic work. So for the name of this work is called Urban Skeuomorphism, and Li Haoran is the artist. So maybe Mr. Li, you can give us more introduction about your work. So this is in a style of punk. It's more like an illustration. So can you explain this work to me? So as you all know that the Northeast China is actually well known as the heavy industry site. I just want to demonstrate this kind of mechanical style of Northeast China to all of you. So this is one of the city I visited. This is Baicheng, and I also realized that different cities may have its own characteristics. So for this city, it has many wetland conservation areas, and also red crown crane is also famous in that wetland conservation area. So as this city has 3 wetland conservation area, that's why you could see 3 heads of the red-crowned crane. This is also a demonstration of heavy industry in Northeast China. Any other interpretation about this work? I take a closer look on the crane-crowned crane, and also I analyze the structure of the crane. So this is an illustration I put together. I actually use computer and PS to create this illustration. Can I touch it? Yes. Oh, I can feel the layer and the structure of this kind of illustration. And also you could see very bright color in this illustration. So we are actually using the major color of the red crown crane, the white, red, and the black. And I'm using some of the yellow color, just want to emphasize the military feature of this conservation area. This is another work from Li Haoran. So for the crane one is actually from Baicheng, and this one is actually from Changchun. Changchun is a city of films, so I would like to emphasize the element of the red carpet. And also you could see on the upper part of this personified figure, you have the automobile, because we all know that the Hongqi automobile is actually produced in the Changchun. And also some parts on the body is also parts from the automobiles. So you could see the dampers and also the brakes. And on the head, and actually you could see the hairpin. The hairpin is actually coming from an ancient pagoda. And on the shoulder, it is actually the copy film cassette. And it also emphasizes the film industry in the Changchun. On the waist, actually, you could see the first commercial satellite that was named after Changchun. So it is just a personified figure, but actually carry a lot of historic significance. So on the legs, you could see some of the dampers, also part of the automobile. And so for this one, is actually represents Siping. And actually, it represents a landmark building in Siping. So in the upper part, it is showing the landmark of Siping. And also, I remember the war that happened in Siping. So the main rifles that was used in that war, I just use it on this work. And the whole visual design is in the shape of a tanker. So we just want to demonstrate a battlefield atmosphere. Well, I could see there are a lot of interpretation about these three cities. So with the creation of Li Haoran, you could see all of the cities actually transforming into a skeuomorphic design. It is quite impressive. Thank you. Let's continue our tour to see what's coming next. And also we have some digital works. Here we have another unique design. Well, the name is Yao, which means dazzling. Well, I think there's a group of students who are creating this kind of work. So Qiu Yuxuan and Zhou Daili are the two major artists who created the dazzling. So I am Qiu Yuxuan. I'm also coming from National Taiwan University of Technology. Can you give me more introduction about this work? I realized there are lakes on the tops of the mountain, the Tianshan Mountain and the Changbaishan Mountain. So what is your inspiration? Well, actually, I think of the folk story, which is the Hou Yi shooting down the 9 suns. So for Hou Yi, as we all know that he shot down the many suns, but I think even though those suns are being shot down, but still they're actually shining the earth. So we think even though these suns are being shot down, but they still nourish the land. I still remember one of the poem that also saying that the falling petals are not as cool as they seem, but they still nourish the land and fertilize those in full bloom. And I also integrate some of the regional characteristics in Changchun. As you could see, we put the kaffir lily, which is the flower of the city. And also, you could see the Tianchi Lake, which are lakes on the tops of the Tianshan Mountain and the Changbaishan Mountain. And also, you could see the sun that has been left in the sky. So for the night suns that has been shot down, actually still laying on the ground. So we start to prepare for our creation. From April and May, we have a lot of thoughts and ideas, and in the end, we will want to create this work, which we call dazzling. What are the other inspirations from you? At the beginning, I want to make a kind of notebook. So I could do a lot of paper cutting and to put this kind of paper cutting into a notebook. For example, I can make some shapes of the Palace Museum of the Manchukuo. And this may be very interesting. And if I put all the paper cuts all together, you can show a holistic picture of the Palace Museum. So that is one of my thoughts. But in the end, I decided to make this work dazzling. So how many times have you been to mainland China? I have been here for maybe 5 or 6 times. I visited Hangzhou, Xiamen, Beijing, Xi'an, all of those big cities. So probably it is your first time to visit the northeast China. So what impressed you the most? I think it is a good pleasure for me to make friends of my peers from Jilin University of Arts. They're quite enthusiastic and we have a lot in common, we have a lot to talk about. And we can talk about our work and exchange our views. And also they give us a lot of introduction about the culture in Northeast China, and also they take me to some snacks about the Northeast barbecue. It's quite delicious. So the most impressive thing for me is that I have got to meet a lot of friends that are coming from Jilin University of Arts. I think the experience living here is quite different from Taiwan, and I try to pick up some local dialects from Northeast China. Just a few words, maybe not that standard. So in Taiwan, I want to ask, what's the difference in the cultural creation? So for Taiwan, we will include some of the cultural elements into our artistic work. And also in Taipei, we also have a Palace Museum. When we are making the artwork, we also want to include some of the cultural elements. All right, one last question. So later on, we will have a award ceremony. Do you have confidence that your work will win the game? Yes, I have some confidence in my work, but I still feel that the students from the Jilin University of Arts are quite strong, but wish myself good luck. Thank you. All right, let's take a look on the rest of the work. This one is called Fading. Zhao Xuechen is also coming from Jilin University of Arts. I think the students are actually attending the ceremony. All of works are demonstrating here. For this creative competition, it started on the 11th of July. So we have 54 students coming from 8 universities from the two sides of the strait, and they're coming here to exchange their views on the creation. So they have enhanced the cultural recognition and also enhanced the people-to-people exchange. So for all of these works, they're covering the area of digital media animation, graphic design, fiber arts, and metal crafts. You could see all of these works are quite suitable for museum, and also they're quite deal with the regional characteristics. As far as I know, so for those students coming from Taiwan, they always express their willingness to learn more about the history and the culture so that they could create more works. We hope through the creative competition, the students can learn more from each other. During this week-long creative competition, in addition to demonstrate their work, they're actually having some of the field trip, and they also listen to some lectures from experts. So for these students, they also get to know about the culture and history in the Northeast China. Now we also see some of the visitors coming to the Palace Museum. So here they're trying to appreciate the work that has been presented by the cross-strait college students. So through the creative competition, so they can learn a lot from the whole procedure to create the work. For example, the early stage, the brainstorming, the material selection, all the way to the display of the works. You could see many visitors, they're quite interested and they're quite impressed by this work that has been presented by the cross-strait students. Now we're at the summer vacation. You could see some parents, they are actually taking their kids to the Palace Museum of Manchukuo. So for the Palace Museum, it is a 5A, the national standard tourist site. So that's why so many parents, they would like to take their children to visit this place. Alright. So we're about to know the winner of this creative competition. Let's go on site to see which work gets the first place. So all of the certificates are ready for issuing. So for me, I think the dazzling, the one that is based on the folk story of Hou Yi shooting down the suns, is quite impressive. I just want to make a bet. So which one do you think is the best? I think the first one, the game, I think is quite unique. Alright, so let's go back to the stage to see the announcement. Pretty soon, the award ceremony is about to start. First, we would like to announce the Award of Excellence.
棉系列作者孟琪，门神作者肖同文，纳福作者杨明奇，花之妹作者姚琪，原主作者李嘉欣，菊作者李新荣，子墨红茜作者严新竹，善作者张润，赤作者朱明，向阳作者王浩明。
我们现在看到的是获得优秀奖的这个学生。
Now you can see these are the winners for the certificate of excellency. We are still waiting for the first place. We will stay tuned to see who got the first place. So we will have the founder of the I Future Art Association to present the award. So now we are having the winners for the honor of excellence.
那么本次举行的两岸大学生文博创意大赛呢，应该是第二届。
So for this cross-strait college students creative competition, we're having the second session, and last year we held the first section of the cross-strait college students creative competition. So for the second session, it kicks off on the 11th of July. So we have 54 students coming from 8 universities, coming from the 2 straits. So they have a week-long creative competition. So for their work, they're actually in the field of digital media animation, graphic design, fiber art, and metal craft. You can see the inspiration is quite unique. It is quite suitable for museums and also of very strong regional characteristics. So now we can see the student representative who are receiving the award of excellence. During the 1 week creative competition, they're actually visiting the Palace Museum of Manchukuo, and also they're visiting the exhibition hall of Changchun and also the sculpture garden in the Changchun. They have done a lot of a field trip. At the same time, they're also listening to some of the lectures of the experts, so they get to know more about the culture of Northeast China and the Changchun. So now we are about to present the third place.
竹湖的作者吴灿成，满族剪纸立体贺卡作者王求元，崇明野宴作者李坤、钟金佩，网球规则及知识结构桌球创意设计作者黄元颖、曾静文，包你喜欢作者赵思琪，唐卡金刚语境与金刚气语系列作者文培新，颜纸艺术作者。
现在宣布的是3等奖的作品。
Now they are presenting the award to the winners for the third place. And also have a leader from Office of Taiwan Affairs of Jilin Province and Office of Taiwan Affairs of Changchun City. So they're about to present the award to the winners for the third place. So for this kind of creative competition, it actually offers a platform for cross-strait communication and exchange. So by having this kind of competition, we can actually close the ties between the cross-strait students. So for this creative competition, we have 54 students attending the competition, and 25 out of them are coming from Taiwan, of China, and also we have 29 students coming from Jilin. So congratulations to the winners. Next, we are about to present the award for those who won the second place.
梁铁耀，突然遇见你作者陈文瑜，消逝作者赵雪纯。有请我们的颁奖嘉宾，吉林省人民政府事务办公室交流处调研员田光野先生，长春市人民政府事务办公室副主任。
We'll invite the representative from the People's Government of Jilin Province to present the award. And also we will have a representative from the Brand Development Exchange Association in Taiwan to attend this award ceremony. And as you could see, the two works that we have just appreciated, the winners have come to the second place. As we get to know from the delegation team leader, Mr. Chen, he said that we have to deeper understand the culture and the history, and then we could have a better creative work. And Mr. Chen hoped that through this competition, the students can learn from each other and get fruitful results. Alright, so we will come to the award for the first place. Mr. Li Haoran, the artist for the urban skeuomorphism, and also Chen Yexun, also the stationery set. So we have 3 winners for the first place. So during our live coverage, we have just interviewed Mr. Li Haoran, and you can see his work is urban skeuomorphism, and his work has won the first place in this creative competition. So I would like to remind you, actually, he have done a lot of skeuomorphic design for 3 cities in Jilin province. So also he represents 3 cities quite well, the Changchun, Siping, and the Baicheng city. As you just talked about the automobile shape of the design and also the right-crowned crane. So all of these elements he has been put into the skeuomorphic design. So soon we will have a representative from the Taiwan delegation to give us a speech. Liu Qianhua, please come to the stage. Good afternoon, I'm a representative from the National Taipei University of Education. My name is Liu Qianhua. It is my great honor to come to Changchun and attend the creative competition. Big thanks to the hosting organizations, and thank you for your hard work. Thank you, my tutor, Professor Yang Mengzhe. And last, I would like to give my big thanks to all of you who are attending this creative competition. Thank you all. Next, we will have a representative from Jilin delegation, Zhao Xuechun. Please come to the stage. Distinguished guests, teachers, my friends, good afternoon. Well, now we are at the site on the Cross-Strait College Students Creative Competitions. Now we are about to close this creative competition. With this creative competition, especially we can see many Taipei universities come to Changchun and Northeast China, and they have strengthened their understanding in Changchun and the northeast of China. Hopefully, the college students from the 2 sides, they can strengthen their mutual understanding. All right, now we have come to the end of our live streaming. Thank you for watching.